Well, Arsene Wenger's gone ahead and endorsed the signings of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Julian Timber. He has also given us more information onto how Arsenal is going to benefit from these players and whether he would have gone ahead to sign these players if at all he was still at Arsenal. All that and more into the Arsenal transfer news show, that is really trending right now onto your screen. Rokani David is my name. Smash the like button, comment and share. I've come a little bit late, but I promise you 5-6 videos are coming your way today. Let's see close to 400 likes. Smash on this video and don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. So as it stands, it's a Sunday. Hope you guys have gone to church, Christians, and the Lord God is willing to really answer your prayers as you've gone ahead to say them to Him. So we are also discussing Dean Henderson has been given a deal. Guys, the weekly wage that has been given to him, not Dean Henderson, Jordan Henderson, the captain of Liverpool, has been given a weekly wage that even if it were you wouldn't have not dumped away the job of Liverpool. And where he's heading to, how much has he been given? I'm here to bring you the latest about that. And lastly, Conor Gallagher is a Chelsea player and looks like he has some other destination that Pochettino might see him sending him there to see to it that he finds more space for other players to fit into his team. So let's go in there for you. Having unveiled yesterday as an Arsenal player, lots of people have gone ahead to say a lot, and I'm going to be throwing in a little bits of those sayings by the people that have gone ahead to really show us what Declan Rice is going to be doing at Arsenal. And one of those is the former Arsenal manager, that is Arsene Wenger. And when he was asked on the signings of Arsenal, that is the summer signings, he said, I think it's a good investment. Overall, personally, I think they have made good buys as they are players who are now mature, 23, 24, and still young, so can stay together for a few years. So that is what that's what Arsene Wenger first said when asked about these players. Now, if you're talking about the summer signings of Arsenal, who are we referring to exactly? We are referring to Kai Havertz, the first summer signing of Arsenal, Julian Timber, the second summer signing of Arsenal, and Declan Rice, obviously the third summer signing of Arsenal confirmed. Now, Kai Havertz, 24 years of age, Julian Timber, 23 years of age, Declan Rice, 24 years of age. That's what that's what Arsene Wenger was referring to, that these players are not even in their prime, because a prime age of a footballer is 25, 26. Declan Rice is 1-2 years away from his prime. Same applies to Kai Havertz, and Julian Timber is 2 years away from his prime, meaning that these players are going to stay together for some years. And with that chemistry built, that means Arsenal is going to be having these players for some long time, and they are going to really force through this team to the victories that they failed to achieve last season in the UEFA Europa League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup. So he is really seeing a lot of positivity, and he's like telling Arsenal fans that please smell the roses, and be charged up for victory, because 3 additional players costing £210 million aren't usual players. And when you look at their quality and talent, you'll obviously understand that they are really going to elevate Arsenal and take them to the next level. So he came up through and obviously threw into something else that most of you might not even have thought about. But as a senior in football, he knows what huge signings really bring to the team. He concluded and said they will be under more pressure after last year, but they have learned a lot and they can show they can deal with that pressure now. So he's anticipating that Arsenal is going to be under more pressure, but because of the situation that was exposed to them last season, they aren't going to be having more of that pressure. And he knows exactly that the addition of people like Declan Rice, having lifted that trophy of the UEFA Conference League, that takes his confidence to the next level, especially when it comes to playing in such tournaments. So Arsenal have gone ahead to sign winners. Though they've not been perennial winners, but at a point X in the last 2 years, they've gone ahead to lift loads of trophies, starting with Declan Rice winning a UEFA Conference League, very much important, playing into the Euro final in 2021 at Wembley, right? World Cup quarter-finalists, knocked out by France, So that is something huge. You look at Kai Havertz, Champions League winner, Club Cup winner, Super Cup winner in the last 2 years, meaning that is one of the things that you always look at and obviously know that you're having players who are really good at this. Julian Timber, he won the Eredivisie 2021, 2022, and he won what we call the KNBC Cup. That is like the FA Cup in the Netherlands. That is coming in from Arsene Wenger. So all these players have a lot of potential, and he has gone ahead to endorse them that they are going to do the needful for the side of Arsenal. Then he was asked another question that most people really are asking themselves, that on if he would have signed similar players this summer if he was still the Arsenal manager. He said, I had to cope up with no money, so you have to find a different way. Arsenal is now in good financial situation and bought what they think will win the championship. So Arsene Wenger, when he came in at Arsenal for very many years, he couldn't buy big players. And when he had gone ahead to stabilize the income of Arsenal around 2023, around 2002, that was like when he had spent like 6 years at Arsenal, he had money to buy big players. But what he decided was Arsenal to go ahead and obviously build a stadium. And when they built a stadium, they really got a loan from the bank, and they also built houses at their former grounds. That was Highbury, that they sold close to £20 million per house, and they raised some money to come in through and obviously pay off that, because he was a finance professor. He knew exactly how to turn out things and make some good money for the club. So from 2004 up to 2000 and I think 14, 15, I think 13, Arsenal had to sell one of their big players that really shone that season, so to it that they get money, so to it that they really accomplish that date. And you remember, by the time he left Arsenal, he had started to make signings of £40 million, and in his career, he had not gone ahead to spend like that. Lacazette, I think, was £46 million. There came in Mesut Ozil, another expensive player. There came in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, £54 million, breaking the record of Arsenal hugely. Then, though the fans of Arsenal never really saw any future in him after all that, and they forced him out, something that he never loved, but he had really laid what we call a very huge financial foundation for Arsenal. And when the Kroenkes came in through and obviously took over 100% ownership of Arsenal, they went ahead to buy a player for £73 million, Nicola Pepe. Now that followed up the signings of Jesus, Ben White, Zinchenko, Kai Havertz, now Declan Rice, and now it's not surprising that Arsenal have gone ahead to sign a player of £100 million. In the January transfer window, they wanted to spend £88 million on Mykhailo Modric. You understand? They wanted to spend £70 million on Moise Caicedo. So it shows you the vibe at Arsenal and how things are really moving in. But it shows you that the man himself, that is Arsene Wenger, has gone ahead to endorse the signings of Kai Havertz, Timber, and Declan Rice, that they are going to do the needful at the club of Arsenal. So after that, we just come in here and obviously do the needful and bring you another story coming in from Dominic King, Northern football correspondent for that Daily Mail. It's really one of those stories that is shocking. We never saw it coming, but it looks like the Saudi clubs are really taking it over, and they are paying ridiculous money to players to go ahead and obviously play for them. Jordan Henderson, £700,000 a week, moved to Saudi Arabia, is under threat, with El Takik struggling to meet Liverpool's £20 million asking price. So his transfer is under threat, But before it gets under threat, let's first talk about the £700,000 per week. Guys, if you're 33 years of age and you're having 2 years left at Liverpool, would you turn down that deal? Especially on one of the club legends, known as Steven Gerrard. I was going to hate to let you know that, please come over and let's do magic this side, because I'm going to be your manager and he will obviously be one of the best players this side. Guys, £700,000 a week is really huge amount of money. If you multiply it by 52, right? That is close to 300. That is close to 36, right? 36 million pounds a week. Sorry, a year. That is going to be a huge income, almost times 4 or 5 the amount of money he earns at Liverpool. But it's under threat because Al Ettifaq cannot really pay 20 million pounds that Liverpool are really calling in for the side. Now, Liverpool are having 2 players to sell, Henderson and Fabinho. Now, they want 20 million pounds for Henderson and they want like 40 or 50 million pounds for Fabinho, because they know if at all they get that amount of money, they can easily get in replacements that fit those 2 players. And having brought in Sobasili, McAllister, you know, that means if they are losing 2 players, they have to bring in 1, or they have to bring in 2 more, because that won't even be allowed or be satisfactory, as they've always wanted 1 more midfielder when these 2 have always been here, meaning that when these 2 leave, that means they are going to call in for 3 more players. And I don't know how that's going to pan out for the side of Liverpool, but it looks like it's really something hard. But I think they'll come to a compromise and they'll find themselves in a situation of getting in quality of more players at the side of Liverpool. So after that, let's talk a little bit of Conor Gallagher, another player that is at Chelsea, and Martin Samuel confirms to us that Conor Gallagher is the subject of transfer speculation, with Tottenham Hotspur among those keen to sign him. Now, when you look at Chelsea, there are problems they're into. They have to find themselves selling players that maybe they wouldn't have sold, so that they get in money. The deal of Moise Caicedo is stalling. You know why? Brighton want £100 million. Right? Brighton want £100 million. And guess how much? And guess how much they are willing to offer? They are willing to offer only and only £70 million. And that is going to hate to store that deal. And they might find themselves trying to sell a player that is wanted by other teams like Spurs, like £40 million to get to that level of getting in Moise Caicedo. They started off this season early and they wanted Manuel Ugarte, but PSG multiplied the salary they had promised to Manuel Ugarte by 2. So after that, the deal fell through. They wanted Declan Rice, they couldn't get him. They missed out on very many others, and now they are putting all their hopes on Moise Caicedo. And it looks like Liverpool is wanting to move in to sign Moise Caicedo if at all they aren't serious, and that's why they are calling in for 40 to 50 million pounds for Fabinho, and 20 million pounds for Jadon Henderson, because if at all they get that 70 million from those 2 players, they already have 35 million pounds for Romeo Lavia. But they would have loved to get in a player like Moise Caicedo, because they are not going to play in the Champions League, meaning that they can keep Moise Caicedo and not play him in most of the games of the UEFA Europa League, and he can only be played constantly in the Premier League, to see it that they go back to the Champions League and maybe next season they find themselves into that sphere of really buying in players that can get them over the line. So guys, your thoughts on Arsene Wenger endorsing the Declan Rice, Kai Havertz and Timber signings are welcome in the comment section below. What do you make about Jadon Henderson deal in all under threat as Liverpool wants £20 million? And lastly, Conor Gallagher Would you sell him for your Pochettino to raise money to see to it that you sign Moise Caicedo? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and may the Lord God bless you abundantly because it's a Sunday, and may his blessings follow you and engulf you. To my Muslim viewers and subscribers, Barak Lau Fikum. Ciao, ciao.